ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Namaste. So great. So we were watching the mind for the last class. When the mind is friend, it feels like a flower. See, when your mind is a friend, you feels like like a flower. Suppose if the same mind is an enemy, it feels like a mountain. See, that means you have to befriend your mind. See, if your mind is not working for you, then who will work for you? So it is most important for you to understand that the mind must be really working for you. For that, you must have a tremendous amount of mastery of the mind. Let me explain to you about the vasanas, what we discussed in the last class. One is, we have a objective mind where we get lot of knowledge and information from the outside world. That is a window. Now it goes through the samskara or vasanas, all the impression what we carried with so many janmas. It goes to the subjective mind. This is what we call the buddhi. When I say buddhi, it's very difficult to translate. Buddhi is a buddhi. That means your input and output depends upon your objective mind and vasanas and subjective mind. Okay, now this is the nature of the mind. Now let us understand but one small little thing which we normally take it for granted. See, normally we say we are able to hear. So I am only here. That's all. It doesn't register. I am only here. I am seeing so many, the things. I am hearing so many sounds, but it doesn't register. That is one. Now I am hearing. It's not good. But you have to listen. It's good, little better than hearing. That means your listening is better than hearing. But the most important thing is active listening. See, what do you mean by active listening? That means I am completely involved in the discussion. That means I am able to involve in the entire discussion. That means emotionally, intellectually, I am involved. This is what you call the active listening. That means hearing, listening, active listening. The most important for people to understand, to concentrate is the active listening. Okay, this is one. Now we are talking about Sunao mind. Last class we talked about the mind. Today we are going to talk about the open mind, not a closed mind. Not a closed mind. Right? That means you must have open mind. The Japanese call it as a Sunao mind. See, it is very powerful. That means it is very difficult to explain, but you have to listen very carefully. That means you must have a kind of a open mind. That means untrapped mind. There is no old cluttering of mind. This is untrapped. Okay, the one. That means most of the times what happens when you are talking to people, so they will be thinking something totally different. That means it is a trapped mind. See, for you to grasp the 100%, that means I must have a open mind. That means being available to listen. That means being available to have a active listening. Okay? Now being quiet yet dynamic. That means I am very calm, but I am very dynamic. I look calm, but in my internal force, that means I am absolutely dynamic. That means I am 100% able to listen in the conversation. Okay, the other thing is state of mind without internal noise. What is happening when you are talking to people? There are so many noise within you. That means all these noises will suppress the information that you are going to get it from the other person also. Okay, so that means you have a lot of the not a concentration, relaxation. If you are able to relax and be calm, see that means you will be able to grasp or observe the most of the things that you are going to discuss. And the last things, seeing things as they are. What do you mean by that? That means most of the times we always try to see things as we want. No, it is very difficult to have this kind of a practice. That means you have to accept things as they are, and you have to really transcend on the with a closed mind. That means when I talk about the open mind, that means I don't have any kind of a judgment. I am a very clear in what I am listening. I don't have any kind of a preconceived ideas. There is no question of judgment at all. That means I have a open mind. That is what I call a Sunao mind in Japanese. So they are very powerful. People who have any association with the Japanese, that means they know that they will always listen very carefully. That means their active listening is amazing. One at a time. They don't have any kind of a too many cluttered mind. So the whole idea of this particular subject is that means all of us have a mind. The only thing is most of us have a closed mind. It's only one-way traffic. Now I am only talking, then you have to listen. No. For you to have an open mind, that means I am very alert, I am very agile to what is happening in the circumstances. So this is about the open mind. Now, it is very difficult to have this kind of a mind. Now you can't do it immediately. You have to have a commitment. Yes, now this is what I learned about the open mind or a Sunao mind. Now I have to develop. You must have a kind of commitment. Yes, it is good for me. Why? Because I will be able to observe or I am able to concentrate by listening or relaxing. So this is the purpose of this particular open mind. So I hope you have a mind now. I hope you are listening to me with an open mind. If you are listening to me with an open mind, I think you will have a fantastic, the benefit of this particular subject. Now I just want to share one particular anecdote which is very famous. I think most of you must have really heard about this particular one. One scholar, a professor, so went to Japan and he want to know about the Zen philosophy. Okay, then the professor met the monk, okay, the master, Zen master, and he was telling that I would like to know more about this Zen. And the master says, fine. The job of a master is to share whatever he knows. Right? The professor started discussing and he want to know about the Zen teaching. Now, unfortunately, what happens? The professor is full of himself. See, he is knowledgeable. He knows about Zen. Okay, he knows about the Zen teaching. He knows something about it. But he want to know more about from a expert. He knows about the Zen. So he was just started, talking, and then the professor keep on talking about the Zen without allowing the monk or the Zen master to tell about the Zen. Our Zen master, he was quite surprised. So the professor came to learn, but where he is keep on only talking about himself, about the Zen. So he is full of himself. He is full of himself. He is not available to listen at all. Then he wanted to, the Japanese, they always serve the tea. It's a great, a kind of art. Then he started serving the tea. When the serving becomes, half, 3/4, right? And full, and then he keep on, that serving, and the tea was overflowing from the cup. Then this professor was quite, surprised. Then he said, Master, it is overfull. No more will go in. Then immediately the master told him, look, now, see, you have got so much of, the knowledge. So unless otherwise, you are able to empty the cup. See, I cannot give more tea at all. Then Zen master told him, look, see, you are also like that. Now, you are a cup with full. Unless you empty your cup. See, I cannot give me more tea. Similarly here, unless otherwise you unlearn whatever you have learned, so I will not be able to teach. The message of this particular story is that means you must have an open mind, right? So you must be available to take the lesson or the teaching. Now, what is the purpose of this? Open mind. That means whenever I have any kind of a interaction or the transaction, that means I must have an open mind to get the maximum benefit. Okay? Now, can you graduate from the closed mind to the open mind? Yeah, you have to. There is no other choice if you want to be happy. So the bottom line is only happiness. Okay, take care. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.